2 heroes ban out jungler.
And it's already the opposite junglers, right? The opposite type of junglers. For RSG PH, they have Demon Kite. Sure, back in MPL PH, they had Irad, a very good assassin player. That's why they were able to leave a lot of these assassins open, because they can always threaten to pick it up themselves and force out bans from the opposing team. Now with Demon Kite on the Fanny, you'd still kind of expect him to be able to play it, but still, his comfort picks since even MSC 2022, the games that they are able to dominate in, Deathball in, are the matches and games where he gets the utility junglers. And you can see that APBREN knows it. They're going to ban all 3 of Demon Kite's most picked heroes in the jungle for utility, the Baxia, the Fredrin, the Martis. Meanwhile, for RGPH, this might be a Joy ban as well. 3 assassins for Mr. Kyle Teasy himself.
And with this, right, APBREN, what they're doing is they're forcing RSG to pick up Demon Kai's hero in the first phase. If not, they will target more junglers in that second phase, which, again, that's a force move for RSG.
I do wonder, though, if you are putting so much emphasis onto one role, right there for both teams, it's all about the jungle, and we talked about how and why that is so important. But as I was about to say, the roamer also matters a lot, because that is mainly the person who's going to be assisting the jungle, trying to get dominance. After they've banned away the Arlet, notoriously used by Ogren to just monopolize all the kills in the game. Let's see the first pick here. Is it going to be a bit of a jungle?
Joy also is open, one hero that was mentioned by Miracle, and if not, they are looking for a more solid pick. Valentina, right? Perhaps Novaria can come into play, but Valentina, again, in the composition or in the hands of Fio, it's a deadly Valentina. Lethal one.
Valentina. I feel like it still has great potential, but now it's a bit more situational. We have seen games where the Valentina just could not find any odds of great significance. It's gonna be the Bruno, though, so just off the bat. Super Marco here having a bit more to throw around, a bit more weight to really use to try and bully the other side. Iman in that gold lane.
Okay. See here, 2 picks to respond this Bruno, right? 1-1, we talked about 1-1 who is available. We haven't really touched on Bruno, but yeah, I think Bruno is up there with 1-1, one of the more reliable gold laners now. Very hard to catch, and also deals a lot of damage when he has items. And there you go, the Joy will be picked up alongside Gwen. So Guinevere roam?
Now you're really confused, right? Guinevere can be flexed from the jungle in towards the roaming position. Heck, I honestly still think that even in the XP, it could still be flexed, but it's a long shot, right? Meanwhile, the Joy, same thing. Jungle XP, maybe this time roam is a bit too far-fetched. It's too far-fetched, for sure. But still, 2 flex picks in the first phase, 2 very meta prio flex picks that have been contested for the entirety of the group stages. But same goes for APBREN. They lock in a very secure pick, this Bruno. We mentioned about it. I think the 2 best gold laners for right now has to be Bruno and Wanwan. Bruno for how much he's able to bully in lane, win that lane, but also create a snowball and even scale really well. He does everything really well. Has a good mid-game power spike, has a late game has a lot of late game presence as well to be the sole carry and damage dealer. And on top of that, if you add Bruno with a pinch of utility, maybe even a more than a pinch of utility, a whole bucket of utility, that's Veramis and a Mathilda.
Yep. It's a solid damage output source, and so many ways here to really save your gold laner from a big ambush. Of course, if the Guinevere gets to land the spatial migration onto Bruno, that knock-up is quite the significant crowd control, and they might be able to just go for a pick-off that happens a bit too fast. So I fully expect some purifiers to come in for APBREN. And for the side of RSG, we gotta go for that Brody. More burst damage, but now it's they're kind of forced into a position where they gotta pull the trigger, and they gotta do it fast.
The way I see it, APBREN and RSG, their composition as of yet, very fast heroes, right? Faramis, Mathilda picked up, even Bruno alongside with the guy, alongside with Mathilda, will move fast, will be very mobile, but also RSG, same story. Guinevere, Joy, very fast units who can just rotate, so I expect fast tempos here in the opening game of today.
It's the same amount of
Thorns
speed,
remain.
but it's a
Your
different
team is
factor of where the speed comes from. From APBREN, it's the mobility, right? They're able to just maneuver around the map super fast with the help of the guiding wind, with also that Faramis using the Shadow Stampede. Meanwhile, RSGPH, they're fast in terms of how they can get their damage output out. This is a lot of burst to play with, and if APBREN aren't careful, sure, they have a lot of utility, but they need to utilize those abilities at the right time. If they miss, just for a second, a millisecond even, Faramis gets a late Netherrealm, it's a late guiding wind, the Bruno's going bye-bye.
When the body
Getting absolutely
suffers,
deleted.
your team
The
is
spirit
dead.
Now, with the
blooms.
Benedetta banned away as well, seems like APBREN are still very concerned about the die potential. But I'm wondering, with so much utility for APBREN, they seem to have the huge advantage in the neutral objective contest. And whether you like it or not, a lot of these games really come down to those lore dances, to those objective setups. And if RSGPH want to try and do that, I feel like they need some kind of big frontliner, first of all, or they need someone who can, you know, surprise the members of APBREN, something that's a bit that can engage in a very unexpected way. Because otherwise, the only way for them to actually get ahead is to try and flank around. And we've seen that APBREN are very well adapted to try and position to make sure that that doesn't happen.
Greatest inventions.
Okay, interesting bans here, right, for their last slots here. RSG, they opted for a Hellcurt ban here, very specific. Seems like they know their brethren very well. And APBREN, they opted for an Angela that survives the first phase. We missed the Angela hero as well. Wasn't banned, wasn't picked in that first phase, and almost survived the second one. RSGPH, let's see here. How
Nova?
will they go about it? Kupra, which opens up. Kupra?
Novaria.
Novaria. Oh, I don't mind. Still with a flexible potential, keeping that Joy and Guinevere a big question mark, leaving that a big question mark towards APBREN.
It all comes down to what Aqua really wants here. If they want to play front to back with that range, they can go for Nova. But if they want to synchronize with the rest of the team, dive in with a lot of damage output, that's the Valentina. Not only can she join in these team fights, but she can also provide utility by stealing away the Circling Eagle, or most importantly, the Netherrealm.
Equalizer.
NR.
The what?
The NR.
The NR, the Netherrealm.
The NR, you're right.
Yes.
Absolutely. Now with that in mind, with the possibility of the ultimates being stolen, APBREN also want to try and be a bit more careful right here. They still lack a strong jungler if they really want to contest against the Guinevere, right? That's been so tanky, but still having a very healthy damage output, which is kind of obscene in my opinion.
What are they going to pick for TNT?
I am
For
the
TNT,
greatest
it's the Hayabusa.
the hunter of all
The
evil
debut
gods.
of Hayabusa in MPLI 2023, and it comes from possibly the best assassin user in MPLI 2023.
This just got more interesting, right? With the Hayabusa, it was also a debut picker, right? But RSG will round their draft with the Terizla. Solid pick in that EXP going up against the Edith. I want to see that in this match. But yeah, Hayabusa and Joy. Thoughts, Harashi?
Man, Hayabusa and Joy, I feel like maybe later on Hayabusa, I think Hayabusa has more mobility, right? More ways to confuse his opponents. But Joy is just a lot more straightforward. And with only one target available, I think Joy will have a more difficult time in the beginning of the fight. But the longer it goes, the easier it is for the Joy to just get value after collecting all the stacks. I do think though that RSG, they're gonna do this engage heavy strategy and then alternate the spatial migration with the penalty zone to confuse them. Like which one's gonna be used for engage, which one's gonna be used for counter engage. That is a big question that APBREN needs to solve.
Well, let's ride this roller coaster. Ooh, it's so fast. It's speed. Like their drafts here, ladies and gentlemen. But yes, APBREN and RSGPH. Let's see who will strike first in this series.
Wow.
And shout out to the people designing this.
For sure, they deserve a big shout out as we enter the land of Dawn for the first upper bracket match of the day. It's APBREN versus RSG Philippines. MPLPH Season 12.5.
0.5. As predicted though, 3 purifies in the hands of APBREN. You guys don't want to deal with all the possibilities of engagements without any way to outplay. Right now, though, it's going to be a bit of a contesting situation. Later on, I think the Edith pick was so good. Kind of supplementing the lack of damage, because the Faramis has damage, but that's later on. For the meantime, I think the Edith will try and fill in, sort of.
Well, again, let's note that APBREN, they rock and they bring 3 Purifies in their composition. Really want to be secure and not be just the crowd control that RGBH has. It seems like a little bit too much here, so they need to juggle crowd control to their composition, their approach, so they can work it out.
That's a good spatial migration early on already. Baiting out a Purify from Ogwen in the first minute of the game. RGPH coming into this all out, guns banging.
They were just looking for a fight right there. But hey, APBREN, they know that it's not their time yet. They back away. They let Kaltizi do a bit of stealing in the jungle of Gaming Tide. They have to wait. They're just playing it conservatively. Gonna make sure that they don't really fall victim to these skirmishes. They know that, especially pre-level 4, there's just so many more tools available to RSG. And with that in mind, I do wonder, are they going to try and rush for level 4? Are they confident of trying to go for a fight only with the Netherrealm as their main advantage? Because remember, the Valentina is still in play.
2 minutes has elapsed and no first blood just yet here. Both teams, though, will rotate towards this turtle, this newt Miracle that has spawned here. Let's see here. Oh, Flat TZ is level 4, though. Let's see.
He was level 4 as well. It's going to be about the power spikes here. Nats already trying to zone Flap TZ away, gets an Earth Shatter and an Onward, bringing Nats back, and that's going to be the Quad Shatter connecting as that's another realm as well. Nats getting out of the vicinity. Flap TZ with a flicker forward, finding the kill, and now it's a Requiem battle between Demon Kite and it's Kyle who secures it, like gets a big violent Requiem, but Flap TZ catches him in his escape. No way! Still able to give the rest of the team the Nether Realm, and it's an all-out win for APBREN in the first neutral objective battle.
And that action was all for just a kill.
Hey.
Man, the turtle again for the side of the Hive. Arashi, wow.
That was so good. You kind of like understand why they're called the Hive. It's like they're in a hive mind. That fight was played out perfectly and everything just went so well for them. They get the neutral objective, they get the kill, they get the level 4s, and they were able to use the Netherrealm at the right moment and baiting it out. Ogwen, once again, just doesn't know when to back away, but does not get punished for it.
Oh.
He just keeps escaping with a sliver of HP. You would like to call it luck, but at this point, there must be something bigger at play.
He is that calculated.
Quick
Arashi
maths.
here. Quick maths in the Land of Dawn as well. And what, 2 minutes out, around 3 minutes here. We have entered the Land of Dawn. We need to witness a pause here, right? So let's talk about what just happened. Turtle, a kill. That's a huge dub, though. In that early game, RSG, do you expect them to immediately look for compensation, or do you feel like they will regroup?
I think the best way is to look for a trade on the other side of the map, right? On paper, they
ASAP.
should have an okay composition to look for these contests, but just hasn't been working out for them. In the first turtle, especially there, you can see that Nats was just poked out of the fight so early on because I would say APBREN just has a bit more CC to play with. A bit more instant CC, that's the word for it, right? Terizla has CC, good control over the neutral objective, but you have to pop in that penalty zone. There's some time for the APBREN members to react. Meanwhile, Onward, especially when you're point blank like that, yeah, Nats is going to get pinned down, going to get knocked up, going to get CC'd, chain even. And when Nats gets done dirty like that, RGPH can really look for an opening aside from that. Light isn't level 4, and he got level 4 very late into that fight.
Yeah, no front line. There's just no way they can actually contest like that. And Flap started that engagement with an Earth Shatter, and then that's the problem, right? Sometimes it's used to just poke and do some damage, but sometimes after you're knocked up, that's when the Onward comes in. So the ability to just delay the engage to just feel out whether it's the right play or not is just so good. And for RSG, like you mentioned, Mirko, there's only the spatial migration to make plays around with, and I think it's just more difficult for the mid laner as well to be a bit more aggressive because there's no Netherrealm ready by default, right? The Valentina has to be a bit more careful in where she wants to position. Here's a commentary by Light.
The team RGPH feels confident, and we're just enjoying this tournament because it has been a while since we teamed up with Demon Kite. And yeah, we're making the most of it, says Light here via YouTube of One Esports. And wow, Light is such a just
Wholesome.
wholesome dude. A relaxed dude.
I mean, I think he's wholesome when you meet him outside the Land of Dawn. In the Land of Dawn, I think he's just out there trying to be aggressive. Fortunately, right now, he's not getting the opportunity. As we are 3 minutes into the game with a pause. Despite all that action, though, it is only one single kill. So, like you mentioned, Goni and Miracle, they can go for trades. They can try and contest if they want to. I think it comes down again to the crowd control and the follow-up, more importantly, because RSG can knock someone up with the spatial migration, but can they have enough damage to really threaten it and force APBREN back instead of getting stuck in an engagement that they do not want to be part of?
I agree. I think they need to be careful in a sense of RSG. Don't let APBREN have the control in this game. It is very dangerous that APBREN usually just steamrolls from that early mid and then end the game. So again, RSG with this L that they took in that first neutral objective, they need to slow things down. Perhaps, sure, looking for trades is the best scenario, but don't get into unnecessary fights.
Very similar playstyles, I would say, for both RSGPH and APBREN. But maybe for now, APBREN seems more efficient at building a death ball. It's very rarely that you actually get to see APBREN get an early lead and then lose it towards the later stage of the game. But right as I say that, very rarely, it's not impossible.
Right.
This fun fact in MPLPH, RSGPH were the team that actually did that. They came back out of a 10k gold deficit against APBREN. It was Caltesi on the Fanny in that game, and RSGPH just played it slow all the way to the end, relied on Iman and Irad back then. Now with Demon Kite on the same hero, the Joy, they can certainly mount a comeback, I would still say, especially considering the fact that it's only been 3 minutes.
Yep.
It's not over just yet, but it is really hard to force the gold lead out of APBREN. Once they get a grasp of it, it's a firm grasp.
Absolutely firm. That's the way we like it. And this is the issue as well. If you want to trade and wait for the mid game, APBREN have them Mathilda, right?
Yep.
The moment that she gets the flash of the Oasis, things just get a bit different. Back then, the shields, the passive, right? The extra shielding when you're below 20% HP, it's a flat amount. It's already massive since the beginning. Now it scales a bit more, so it won't be as obnoxious, but it's still a problem because it's that on top of the mobility. Because I feel like the longer the game goes, the more locked into positions you are, generally around the neutral objective. So having mobility becomes that much more important.
Yeah.
And for RSG, they're a lot more limited in that department. And even in Engage, they're forced to fully commit. And generally, the rule is that when you have less tools and also less frequency of the availability of set tools, longer cooldowns, usually you just are waiting reactively, and teams that react generally lose the initiative and they fall behind.
They need, for RSG, they need to be very wary regarding that, of course. And so let's see here the adjustments here. You're right, Miracle, it's still very early in the game, yet it can be the start of the end here for RSG again if they're not careful.
It is the start of the end, but now for these two teams, for the pause, Gani.
It is for the pause as we enter the Land of Dawn again. Ladies and gentlemen, APBREN established already a 1,000 goal lead here. RSG, man, this is it seems small, but it's a huge 1,000.
Take a look at some of the emblems right here, though. Super Marco, actually, Weapon Mastery and Inspire.
Go solo, what?
Wow, not the guy I was supposed to be talking about, Caltesi, with the aggressive emblems right here, Assassin, and also the Rupture for extra penetration, making full use of it in this early game.
A ridiculous assassination by Caltesi to another assassin. As the Circular Eagle comes in from Open just to buy the time, and Caltesi dodges away from spatial migration, picks up the purple buff, and gets out clean. A buff stolen away from RSGPH by KT.
And APBREN, they're invasive. Yesterday, it was RSG just being the invasive team.
Invader.
This time now, APBREN, they will give the invasive personalities, or the invasive plays style towards RSG. Take a look at this.
Ooh, they're not stopping. They're gonna go in all the way again. Demon Kite still able to run away, but my goodness, Kyle just saves the last part of that shadow kill to find it.
And again, it was 1,000 a minute ago. Now it's 2,500 almost here for APBREN. And the neutral objective is already for Kyle. Take a look. Almost an engage, perhaps. RSG will, they have to concede this.
It's really, really tough for RSGPH to really look for any plays right now. APBREN are just absolutely taking their time. This is what's scary about them, right? They're so aggressive. They know their timings. The quad shadow comes into the mid lane. Aqua gonna be dove on. A good flicker out of the shadow kill, but it doesn't even matter. Kyle just picks him up.
How teasy, man, just so powerful. And now Nats trying to get something in return, but he might get punished for it.
Oh, Nats now pulled. Good gank here as Nats now will not be able to survive. Good kill. NetherRealm to save, just to ensure the safety of APBREN.
And they're gonna go for more. Lightyear is getting poked down hard. Iman, whoa, an aggressive maneuver. Flapteezy finds the Earth Shatter and an onward. Disengages for the team. And JC sees Iman. Kyle Teasy is just obliterating RSGPH one by one, using the space now to invade again.
5 minutes, 6 minutes now, 4,000. Right, that says a lot here. I mean, RSG, what do they need to do here?
They gotta really put some pressure onto Kaltizi, man. This guy, he's doing so much damage so early on. That's almost surprising. I don't think even RSGPH expected that. He has the Master Assassin though, so he is doing a lot more damage when it's a 1v1 situation. This is the problem though. APBREN, they're forcing RSGPH to split around, and if they split, then they get picked off. If they stick together, then APBREN start getting a farm advantage. That is part of why they're just getting such huge gold leads when it's only 6 minutes into the game.
Exactly. And you can see here, top saying, do they have enough firepower?
They might be able to, but a torn apart memory gets popped in late, and he just gets out with the quad shadow. Iman, though, however, should be able to pick up a turret up top right now, even with Owen rotating. One more hit is all he needs, and that's the first turret of the game for RSGPH.
The APBREN will look for a trade in the turtle here. And Joy, does he have enough levels to contest this? No.
No, he doesn't, but the shadow kill comes in. Aqua not even able to pop the NetherRealm that he stole. That's how much damage Kyle Teasy can do.
I wonder if right now RSGPH are wishing they had some more purifiers, man, because these engages have been brutal. They're just stun locked, and the damage comes in way too early. And it's all from Flapteezy here. He is the main frontline, and he's doing it all. Damage, crowd control, and tankiness. Just like that, he goes in, and then he backs out. Flapteezy makes the play alone.
And that is why the Purify is so annoying if you utilized it in the right composition here. APBREN, again, they're very safe, right? Super Mario, he can travel solo because he has that Purify, but with rotating with Ogwen, rotating with you, man, this Bruno won't be touched.
Not at all. It's so hard to get to the back. Not because they have a very good cover composition. Well, that is also one of the factors here, but Nats unable to do anything Super Marco. He just slides in front. Flapteezy goes in for an onward in front as well, and that's a turret taken down for the side of APBREN. They pick it up, and all in the meanwhile, Kyle Teasy is up on the other side of the map doing his business. It's time for you guys to follow what APBREN are doing, and also follow One Esports on social media.
So much pressure, and APBREN, they're just having their way. Whatever they want to get, they're going to try and go for it. And this is the insane part about the Hayabusa, man. You can just play solo and you're so safe. APBREN kind of threaten a dive right here, and you can see that RSG, despite how absurd it seems, they're just worried that it might happen, that APBREN might just go crazy and dive him under the turret like that. That makes you trigger shy, man.
Exactly. They're very nervous in a sense. Oh, there's a catch.
Spatial migration and the Violet Requiem right now with some burst damage as well, but Calteezy is able to find the Shadow kill. Another realm, not enough just yet. Calteezy gets out with the Quad Shadow. And now it's Oakwood with the re-engage, circling Eagle to 2. APBREN, no real follow-up as of right now. 9 minutes in, and it's another outplay. Clean from Mr. KT.
That's the only window that I feel like RSG can turn the game around. But even with that, their gold, it seems like their deficit was a little bit too big.
Yeah, man, I really thought that was going to be it for Calteezy, that his impudence was finally going to be punished, but man, I think the crowd control was not spaced out properly here. I thought that there was enough stuns to make sure that he does not get to use the Quad Shadow, but they failed, and because they invested so much time and control to try and get that pick off, it's going to be a free Lord, and now Flapteezy again.
It was a good Earth Shatter, actually.
It was, and peep that 9 minutes earlier, 10 seconds ago, Calteezy's level 15. So that's a very effective Hayabusa now going on. 6-0 total kills.
In 9 minutes, he was able to get level 15. The amount of pressure, the amount of invades happening here from APBREN, it's almost like RSG don't even have a jungle to play with. It's completely invaded 24/7 with the first Lord. They've cracked the base wide open in the bottom lane. It's base turret number 1 taken down. APBREN looking for another in the mid lane with another siege mounting up. Nats jumps in with the penalty zone onto 3, but it's not going to be enough. Everybody from APBREN just walks out of it. They don't even dash out of it. They just chill. They walked. They jogged out of it.
They pressed shift. But yes, RSGPH here, they are just lacking in that damage department here, Arashi.
Absolutely.
So, again, 10,000 gold deficit. They don't have damage to play around with.
They don't even have tankiness, man. Nats aimed at tanky, and now they're going in.
Flapteezy with a flicker onward, another initiation as well to the back, but another realm still saves them for a bit, but the Worldy there with the Howl of Primal Wrath as well, melts them down to the back as Nats tries to hold the front line down, but will be taken out. Inevitably, Light with another spatial migration to the Violet Requiem, locking Calteezy down, and that's a shutdown. RSG are on the board in the 11th minute of the game. Somehow, some way, they finally were able to get a trade in, and it's a big one.
RSGPH finally cracks the scoreline. You're right, 11 minutes in though. APBREN still has such a huge lead here. Item check.
It's a 10k gold lead. And what's funny to me is when RSGPH get the shutdown on Calteezy, I think 3 members immediately just bought items. That's how much gold they were getting from it. And so far, I think the big point to take a look at here is the fact that Flapteezy does have the Radiant Armor, so he is pretty immune to the bulk of the things that RSGPH can throw. So he's not exactly, I don't know, pickable at this point if they're trying to go for a pickoff. So RSGPH have to go for someone else, and that's going to be very difficult to see how Flapteezy is positioning. Super Marco though with the Windtalker, that's going to be a lot more attack speed, and he was already doing an insane amount of crits, almost 2k.
And also do note, ladies and gentlemen, in case you just come through to the stream, Calteezy was a level 15 in minute number 9-ish, almost 10, but Demonkind has yet to reach level 14, almost 13 minutes in. So that says a lot about the farm that RSGPH is looking for. Very, very small, or has been getting. Very small farm. And APBREN, again, they're forcing a fight here in the top lane.
All the time they're looking for chances around the map. APBREN are screening them. They're always just watching them from a distance. They know where RSGPH are, even when they're looking for something around the map. If you saw Light earlier, followed, stalked all the way back home into their base. And now with an enhanced Lord in the 13th minute of the game and 3 waves pushing down, this might be it for game number 1.
That's the big problem right here. Even if they want to try and get something, APBREN, they're just way too mobile, and they can go in whenever they want.
Circling Eagle, just pressure RSGPH just to push them back right now as the monster to be targeted down. Spatial migration connects. Oh, he predicted the quad shadow and Calteezy falls, but the base is still wide open despite the mechanical plays happening for RSG. They'll lose a game.